So that's proof right there.
That's a so-called white man.
That's Esau's fault, man, because you got the elites there. Like I said, 200 years ago.
Yeah.
200 years ago, the elites or the international bankers were at over $500 trillion worth. So that was 200 years ago. What the hell do you think they're worth now?
Yeah.
You know, their money is really uncountable, man. You know.
And then the leaders that they set up in them different countries, they don't do nothing but sell their own people out.
Yeah, they sell their own people out. That's exactly what they do. You know.
So that's why you got them people out there starving and all fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Got a quick precept. This is Proverbs 29 verse 2. It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn."
Yeah, read that again.
It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice."
Yeah, that's very simple. When the righteous are on authority, and who are the righteous? The Israelites, you know. Starting with the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, those are the righteous, and those are the only ones who can be the righteous. All right, because they're chosen. Okay, and there were times of that. There are accounts of that in the scriptures. In the time of Judges, there is peace. Why? Because there were righteous people ruling in Israel, or judges in Israel. And our best example is in the time of King Solomon, who was really our Lord in the spirit, was and King David, you know, were ruling, and there was peace. Well, David, he ruled, but he was bringing war to bring the peace, and he laid down the kingdom and gave the kingdom over to King Solomon and in perfection. All right, and there was peace for 40 years, you know, under King Solomon, you know. And the people were rejoicing. There was scriptures talk about in that time. Everybody was fed.
Yeah.
Everybody was fed in Israel. There was no poor man in Israel. You know. So how do you think the people felt when King Solomon was ruling? All right, the people were rejoicing, man. You know, that's how you know a true kingdom, or what you people call like a government or a society is at its apex. All right, but America is not. That's what proves America is not that. Top society or anywhere in the world, because that's not happening anywhere in the world where this scripture is talking about. Read that again.
It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice."
Yeah, where in the planet is people rejoicing, man? Nah. Like the brother's going into, and what the Spirit's bringing out today, there's nobody rejoicing in the world. There's nothing but turmoil, hell, and death. All right? So there's no rejoicing in the world, and especially in America. And guess what? A lot of this hell that's happening all over the world is through the hands of America. Because they're putting hell in all these other countries, which in turn is controlled by the international bankers. Because they're the ones who really are dishing out what's going on all over the world, who are manipulating countries and wars and all and so have you. You know, but it's in America, they're not rejoicing, man.
No.
This is a wicked kingdom described as the mother of harlots, which means she spreads around her wicked ass philosophies all over the world, and she delves into all kind of philosophies and demonism, which is America. All right. So basically, to the point, there's nobody rejoicing in America. That's why we got poverty on a skyrocket rise. The rich to poor gap is widening every second of the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you had the big 1% thing going on a few years ago, which is still on today. Really, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. That's not just a slogan. That's actually happening, man. So there's nobody rejoicing now. Why? Because the righteous aren't on authority. Okay. And that just you can't get around that fact. Okay, you can't get around the fact that America is in a sorrowful state. Okay, that was it. Or was it
No, let's finish up. It
Okay.
says, I'll read it again. It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Come.
But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn."
Yeah, I went a little ahead of myself. Yeah, but it says when the wicked. Sorry, read it again. When the wicked what?
It says, "But when the wicked beareth rule,
Yeah, when the wicked beareth rule,
the people mourn."
the people mourn. So that shows you what times we're in. If everybody's mourning around in this country, America, and all over the world, that means there's a wicked ruler ruling.
Yeah.
All right, and that's that. You know.
And you can't just blame it on Obama.
Yeah.
All right, because he's the president of the U.S. He's nothing but a puppet, and people been mourning way before that nigga was president, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you so-called white, like the brother was saying, the international bankers who bear rule on the planet Earth, man. Why? Because they done stole all the resources. They got all the gold. They done hoarded all of the gold. The majority of the world's gold. They own the majority of the world's wealth.
Yeah.
All right. So so they're bearing rule. They're the ones who's setting up, who's setting up presidents and politicians and so forth in these different countries, man. That's those are the people that the countries are in debt to, through the central banks that they got set up in all the countries in the world, man.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So who's the ones that's bearing rule? You so-called white people. As a race or nationality of people, it's you so-called white people. Yeah, you do got some white people that's suffering out here, all right? But that's their goddamn fault, man. You know what I'm saying? The whole point is, when it comes to, you know, biblically, the so-called Edomites, the so-called white men who are Edomites, they're bearing rule right now in the world. And they're the wicked. That's the wicked race of people, man. And the righteous is not ruling. The righteous are the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're not in rulership right now, man. All right. And then you got that you got that nigga Ben Carson for the Republican candidate. He's a Jake.
That nigga.
Yeah, he's a Jake, but out of all the fucking Republicans that's running, he makes more sense, man. You know what I'm saying? That nigga, he actually makes more sense than the rest of them clowns that's running. You know, Donald Trump is a joke. Jeb Bush is a fucking asshole. You know what I'm saying? Ben Carson is the one that don't believe in the Big Bang Theory and shit, because he's a Jake, man. No, even though nigga's a low-life nigga. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Jake has a conscience, man. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Jake does have a conscience. No, I'm not saying that if he was to elect him president that things would be in order. Nah, that he's fucking wicked, man. But at the end of the day, he is a Jake, and Jake is righteous. You know what I'm saying? They'll have to fucking assassinate him because he might go against the grain. You know what I'm saying? Because of his conscience. Yep.
All right, so I guess we'll end it. This is like the theme of the topic here. I'll end it with this. This is Matthew 24, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor shall be ever after."
Yeah, because the tribulation that you got coming to America now, the things that they got set up, especially on the law books and everything, man, with the austerity measures that they have planned for America and for the people throughout the world to force them into accepting the New World Order is unheard of, man. All right, these concentration camps that they got, nuclear warfare in general, man. All right, there's never been things like that ever created, man. They can fucking missiles that could wipe out whole cities, man. All right, then you know all these concentration camps and weapons that the so-called white man has they got planned on use, man, on the books. So the times that we in today, there was never wars ever fought like this, man. So that's how we know we in the end times. And then because of the level of the so-called white man's technology, man, proves it alone. All right, and plus the world population, the world was never this populated either, man. No, that just shows you exactly like what that the Lord said, man. That when the Lord makes His return, it said all eyes are going to see Him, and the Lord is coming back for a great massacre, man. That's why you got so many souls on the earth today, and the majority of them are wicked, man. The majority of them are wicked, especially amongst our people, man. That's why the ones that's going to be delivered is few in number. So the Lord is coming back for a mass slaughter, man. If you ain't of the elect, you're going to be massacred, man. You know, and the Lord is dealing with 144,000 prophets and 1/3 of His nation, of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And if you're not a part of that, and you here in America, you can kiss your ass goodbye, man. You can kiss your ass goodbye. And there's hundreds of millions of people in America, man. So you think about the numbers, man. The Lord is coming back to slaughter He's coming back to massacre America, man. Anything you want?
No, that was it on that.
That was it on that. And with that, we're gonna say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.